Hi, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and plus I'm the author of this beautiful fibromyalgia self-help handbook, how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy and feel happier like a superhero rock star. So in tonight's episode, I want to talk to you about 5 ways you can deal with illness without taking pills. So 5 ways you can deal with illness or sickness without taking pills. And as you know, I was sick last year and I had a respiratory infection last month, and I have to say that I'm not feeling too good again because of my throat is a bit sore and I'm a bit nasally, right? So as we know, there's like quite a lot of bugs and sickness going around at the moment. I do have fibromyalgia, which is an autoimmune condition. I do manage it super well, but that doesn't mean to say I don't actually get sick sometimes. And my chest tends to be like one of my more susceptible areas, if you like. So my voice keeps going a bit croaky. This morning I was coughing up stuff again, which isn't very good. I'm hoping to be able to still do this channel, but obviously if my voice starts really going, then I'm going to have to like temporarily stop for a bit again. So anyway, this video is about, like I said, 5 ways to deal with illness without taking pills. So what can you do if you can't take pills? Well, as we all know, there's a coronavirus going around the world at the moment, and there's no vaccine for it right now. So obviously in the case of that, you've got to listen to the news and take advice wherever you are in the world, which they believe isolation is a key important factor of stopping that spreading. So but what can you do if you're isolated? What can you do if you're at home? What can you do if you are just dealing with any illness without any pills or basically help, external help? What can you really do? And what are some of the more holistic things that you can consider? Well, the first thing that is an absolute number 1 must is to remain positive. Okay, so what we think about expands. If we start getting really negative, the more negativity we have in our mind, the more we will create pain and illness and disease within our body. So we don't want to make the situation any worse than it already is. We have to prepare for the worst, but not instigate the worst, right? So we have to know that we could get sicker, that if we just have sore throats and stuff like that coming on, it could develop something else, and it could develop into nothing more. It could just go away. So we don't want to be putting ourselves in this negative mindset of, oh, I'm got a sore throat, I'm feeling really sick, and then escalate that into all these catastrophes that's going to happen. Obviously, if you've got anxiety, it's easy to kind of spin round in a circle about how you're ill, you'll get worse and worse and worse, because that'll just make you worse anyway. So the number 1 thing is you have to keep a positive mindset. You really have to. And some people in the world have gotten through cancer before and they've recovered, and part of a lot of those people's stories I hear is how they had a positive mindset and how they got on with their life and lived in spite of their cancer. I'm not saying obviously there aren't other people that don't survive, because I know those that don't as well, including family members. So it's very imperative that you do keep a positive mindset at all times, that you don't start going to this really downward spiral of, oh, I'm sick, I'm never going to get better. That is the worst thing you can possibly do, because you're just creating that to happen. You're wishing it into to happen, basically. your mind is going to manifest that in reality, and that's not what you want. So you have to keep a very positive mindset at all times, because what's the alternative? The alternative is to be having a positive mindset is you start going to negative mindset, which then brings on depression, which then brings on a host of other symptoms, which are just going to go on top of your illness anyway, and it's going to make you super, super sick. So you just don't want to do that, right? You want to remain positive at all times, okay? So that's the first thing. Number two is, which is very connected to remaining positive, is you have to keep telling yourself this time shall pass. You're not going to be like this forever. This time is temporary. This time is just a time in time, and that, it doesn't, it's not the rest of your life. You're just going to be, if you're sick, you're temporarily sick for whatever reason. You've also got to know that everything happens for a reason. So remain positive is number one. Number two is always think this time shall pass, is temporary. I know I've been like this, I've been sick twice already in 6 months, but it's fine. It's still temporary. I'm not going to stay like that. I'm not going to be sick forever. It's fine, right? Okay. So like I said, the second thing is first thing, remain positive. Second thing is this time shall pass, right? So the third thing is you have to know as well that everything happens for a reason. And even sickness, right? There's a reason for you being sick, and it's not just for being sick's sake. It's so that your body can have a rest, so that you can recuperate, so that you can, really, really train your mind to be positive in the face of adversity. So in the face of sickness and illness, you have to try and remain positive. That's like your number one goal. So that in and of itself is a huge challenge, right? But it's essential, because you're not going to get better if you think negative, right? So you have to understand that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes our bodies get sick on purpose when we've got other problems, like when we've got stresses and strains, worries, things going on in our life that aren't good for our health, that are not good for our well-being. They actually go against our body systems, if you like, and that's when kind of our body systems start failing more. So our immune system will lower and stuff like that when we're prone to stress and anxiety and all those type of things. So you have to understand that everything happens for a reason, and logically there's going to be a reason why you're sick. Like I have had, I do have some personal stuff sometimes that goes on, and it does affect me. I'm not going to lie about that. So that kind of accounts for some of the reason why I get sick in the last 6 months. It's really important that you believe that everything happens for a reason, and you just kind of gotta logically think what that reason is. Okay, so that is number 3. Everything happens for a reason. So number 4 is you have to de-stress and cut off from negativity. So this means cut off from negative people as much as possible, cut off from negative situations, de-stress, or whatever causes you stress, either get rid of it out of your life or minimize it, because you don't want to be having this overwhelming sensation of upset and pain in your life. So de-stress and remove sources of pain. This could be things like television programs that include death, murder, rape. Any of those things provoke very negative emotions. So you don't want to be having anything like that come into your mind. You want to get rid of all that negativity, anything to do with death. I mean, obviously the coronavirus that's going around at the moment, it's all over the news, it's all over the media, and while it's good to know these things and be precautious in a lot of ways, it's also not very good for the mind to keep hearing over and over again how bad everything is and how worse everything is going to get, because like I said, going back to number 1, you've got to remain positive at all times. So, but the more you have negative stuff in your life, the more you are likely to keep yourself being sick and keep yourself being ill, or it's more likely to crop up again. So you have to try and cut off from negativity and negative sources. This includes negative people, negative news on TV and magazines, on social media, people that are being negative towards you. You need to you need to cut them out of your life as well, because there's no point. They're just going to make you worse. If you've got family or friends that are not being great, you kind of have to minimize your time with them, and spend more time around positive people. Now, if you're sick, obviously you might not feel like going out. If you've just got mild illness, right? I'm not talking about the coronavirus or any major thing like that. If you've got just a little bit of illness, and it's just a sore throat or something, if you want to go out, get some fresh air, go walking. If you've made plans to see people, do. But obviously a safe thing would be to video chat with them. That way they're not going to get ill off you. Hi Sam, nice to see you. That way they're not going to get sick off you. So if you are feeling really poorly, then obviously you can video chat and use other methods of like communication, like phone and stuff like that. If you can't get out, if you're very isolated, it's really good to cut off negativity and de-stress. But it's also very important to then pump positivity into your life. So, it works both ways. De-stress, cut off from negativity, but then you have to pump positivity into your life. So connect with your friends, family, and people that do make you feel much better about yourself, because that's really, really going to help cheer you up. And if you can't see them, thanks for the thumbs up. If you can't see them in person, then the least you could do is talk to them over the phone or video chat. Obviously, if you lose your voice, they might have to do more of the talking, or you might just have to text message, because you want to remove the negative and gain the positive as much as possible. Obviously, you might feel that your energy is being drained and that you can't give energy to other people. This might mean even people you really care about. So, if you're feeling really, really low on energy, conserve that energy, look after yourself, just chill out and de-stress. That might mean watching movies. It might mean just like not doing much but sleeping. You might just need to sleep a lot. Reading books, anything that's kind of like a solo activity, more that's not too strenuous, that's making you feel better. Don't start reading or doing something that actually stresses you out more or makes you iller, because it's not going to help you. That leads nicely on to number 5, which is all about using the time to rest, reflect, and journal. So like I said, everything happens for a reason. That's was number 3. You got to remember that everything happens for a reason. And often the reason why we get ill in a capacity is because we need to rest. Our body needs to rest. Things are happening in our life that might be causing a lot of chaos in our brains, and therefore it's manifesting and is dis-ease in the body, meaning disease, but disease is dis-ease in the body, and the body is correlated directly to the mind. So whatever you're thinking about your mind, if it's kind of exploding, a volcano eruption type of scenario, or things haven't been like gone according to plan, or there's kind of like some negative stuff going on, whether it's from yourself or from other people, we can be our own worst critic, as I've said before. So, it might even be negativity from yourself. You need to just stop the record, thinking you're not good enough, thinking that, that you're not worthy or something. Do you know what I mean? So it might not all be from other people. It might not be all from all external sources that you get in the negativity. It might very well be from yourself, and you just aren't consciously aware of it. And you're kind of like having a go at yourself, or being hard on yourself, or not loving yourself, and that type of thing. So it's really, really, really important that that you improve on that, and that you inject positivity into your life as much as possible, and you use this time, like I said, to rest and reflect and journal. So you do need to be reflecting on things that are going on in your life, and use a journal. You can use a diary, or just a notebook. Buy a notebook if you haven't got one already, or just get sheets of paper if you've got one of paper lying around, and just start writing down stuff to get it out of your mind. Because when the mind is cluttered and the mind is negative or not in a very good state, it will mean that your body's not in a very good state. So therefore it's not going to help you if you just keep it all locked inside you. It's better to get any pain out as much as possible, any upset, any negative emotions out as much as possible. This is easier said than done, I know it's easier said than done. Like, sometimes it's hard because sometimes you can't foresee things that are coming. There's certain situations that are beyond your control. And so it's not always easy, but you just have to try and control your own emotions as much as possible. But part of kind of controlling your emotions is actually letting them out and letting them run wild for a bit. Because if you lock your pain inside you, then you get a pain in your body and ill. So kind of like it sounds counterintuitive, but you kind of have to unlock the pain and unleash it and actually feel it and go through it rather than keep it inside you and then it all builds up like a volcano. You have to kind of deal with it head on and then push through it. Do you know what I mean? Whilst acknowledging it, you know? Clearly, like, this is I have got, I was coughing stuff up this morning. My throat is sore again. So clearly my immune system is not so great at the moment. So, I am stressed about some stuff personally. It's not always easy things, but in another senses, I've got nothing to worry about, nothing to be stressed about. So it's kind of like all a perspective, but sometimes your mind can be a good perspective frame of mind, and other times your mind can be in a more negative perspective frame of mind. So like I said, it's not all external sources that you need to cut off from, and you can't cut off from yourself. You kind of have to stop the record and change the record. And and so one of the ways to do that is literally by writing stuff down. And sometimes your brain needs a rest though. So sometimes, your brain's going round and round and round like the record, and the only way you can literally stop it is like just slowing down, sleeping, resting, distracting the mind, doing something different, whether that's watching a movie or whatever it is. Today, even though I got a bit of a sore throat and was coughing stuff up this morning, it's been my mum's birthday, so I have been over there to see her, my dad and Angel. That was really, really nice to spend some time with them, even though, you can hear my throat's not 100%, I'm nasally. I still really love spending time with them, It got me out from my flat. I haven't been out of my flat for quite a bit, apart from for food shopping and presents for my mum. So I haven't really been out that much as I usually would like to. So it's been very good to do that. I loved spending time with Angel. I gave her a manicure today. So that was all good. My mum, one of the presents I got my mum was a big pink owl cushion, and she absolutely loved it because pink's her favorite color, and she absolutely adores owls. She collects them, so she was so happy to get that from me. So that was really nice. And I got her some other stuff, including a jumper I've had a while because I got a while ago for her, that, and she really liked that as well. It's like a multicolored pink jumper, so that's really good. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to give you an extra well, it's a 6. Have I gone through? I've gone from 1 was remain positive, 2 was this time shall pass, 3 was everything happens for a reason. Yeah. 4 was de-stress and remove sources of negativity, and then put positivity in as much as possible. And number 5 was use time to rest, reflect, and journal. Have I said 5 or I said 1, 2? So I've actually written notes down here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my mind's not completely, my mind's not got as much clarity when not feeling so good. So yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I've got a 6th one anyway, which I haven't yet said. So 6th one is to do with the foods you eat. Try, even if you are sick, to keep eating foods that are very good for you. So make sure you eat a lot of green leafy vegetables like broccoli and spinach. You really want to be eating food still as much as possible, unless you feel like you can't face it, because food gives you energy, and the last thing you want is all your energy zapped when you're feeling poorly. Because if you have all your energy zapped when you're feeling poor, you won't even be able to get out to the shops to get food. I've been in such a bad state in the past that I haven't even been able to walk across the road because I've been too weak, So if you're able to eat, it's really important you eat and keep your fluids up, obviously. Well, I say obviously, but some people just don't pay attention to that. So, it's recommended to drink at least 2 liters of water a day. That was something I was told by a nurse that I used to see at the hospital, a minimum of 2 liters a day. And it is recommended when you look at other health sites, at least 2 liters a day of water. Obviously, when you're poorly, you might need to drink more because you need to keep your fluids up. You need to keep hydrating your throat if you've got sore throat and stuff like that as well. Obviously, if you have got high temperature, the doctor would recommend obviously taking pills and stuff like that, like ibuprofen and paracetamol. But so you might, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to go completely pill free on every scenario of feeling ill. I mean, there are sometimes some alternative health products as well that can help. But obviously, it depends on your sickness and how severe it is. I mean, like I said, the coronavirus is going around everywhere, in the world. But I mean, in the UK, there has been some more people that have got it. But you gotta still remain positive. Don't go into complete panic that you're gonna get it or anything like that, because you don't want that type of negativity, right? And they're trying to isolate people in people's homes anyway. So basically, it means pretty much you're going to have to deal with it on your own as much as possible. So obviously, if you do have a fever or high temperature, it is recommended to take ibuprofen, paracetamol, that type of thing, to reduce that type of high temperature that can be really, really dangerous for you. So there are some times when you might need to take some pills, and I always recommend taking pills if it's to do with keeping you alive, obviously, but if it's general illness, then I do recommend these type of things. And like I said, in terms of foods and drinks, make sure you drink plenty of water. You don't need to drink alcohol. That the body has to work extra time to get rid of toxins in your body from alcohol. So if you have got illness or sickness, the last thing you want to do is start drinking alcohol and making your body work overtime and extra hard. You need to put a least strain on it as possible. Obviously, if you smoke, it's not a good idea to do that either. Like I said, green leafy vegetables, spinach, broccoli, they're really, really good. I eat them raw. If you're having herbal teas, chamomile is really soothing and it's very calming. It's meant to be anti-inflammatory. I usually have something called free ginger. I tried ginger on its own straight and it was just too much for my tummy. So 3 ginger I usually have, and that is very good for digestion and to help ease the tummy. So if you've got a problem with your tummy at all, if you're feeling sick, ginger can sometimes help with that as well. If you're feeling very sicky, but better out than in, though. Do you know what I mean? Don't start to keep your type of thing in. If you need to be sick, physically sick. But ginger's very good for the tummy, very, very good for digestion. I saw a nutritionist years ago for a digestive problem, and they also there was a tincture they made me up of lots of different stuff, and licorice was one of the other things that was really good. And I have actually found licorice to be very soothing as well on the tummy as well as good. So sometimes I will literally have chamomile, 3 ginger and licorice teas all in one cup. And that works very, very well because that was all in my tincture. But instead of paying a lot of money for a tincture, I took the 3 most ingredients out of it that I thought was helping me the most and get tea bags with it whenever I need to. But I've got chamomile in at the moment. That's very good. You can buy some other manufacturers which they have certain type of things in their tea bags which is designed to actually promote certain well-being things as well. Some help you sleep, some help you be calmer anyway. And my dad printed a leaflet off about some information off about the coronavirus. And one of the things they said on there was to make sure that you drink a lot of warm water, like hot water as opposed to cold, because it's supposed to help kill the viruses off more. So that was very, very interesting. So, but like I said, the power of positive thinking, nothing beats it, So it's really Sam, I need to go shop tomorrow, so we'll be picking up some chamomile tea. Oh, that's really, really good, Sam. Really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah. It's good. I mean, I'm not feeling great at the moment. My throat's a bit, but I've Sean, how are you doing? I've got a bit of a sore throat at the moment. A bit nasally, but other than that, I'm good. So because yeah, I'm saying good, but I was coughing stuff up this morning. So yeah. So I need to just look after myself a bit, I know. Hope you feel better soon. Oh, Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So, you know, I'm going to probably go to sleep early tonight to get some rest so my body can recover. Which is why I did this video really on the things that I do to help me when ill, you know, help cope without pills. Because obviously, you know, a lot of viruses you're not given pills for anyway. You can't have antibiotics for viruses usually. So you have to find other ways of coping and dealing with it. You know, last time I got over a respiratory infection, I'm not sure I completely got over it because, you know, it was not long ago that I had it. Then, you know, I got myself better without any antibiotics or anything. So, you know, it's a respiratory infection, but that is the problem. Like years ago, I used to get a chest infection every winter, every single winter. So I do actually have a weakness in my chest anyway. My dad's got a weakness in his chest. But again, you know, you can't just use these things as excuses. You have to take it on the chin and understand that there's something going on with probably stress in your life, the slowing your immune system, negativity and all that lot. So you kind of have to just really like think that although you might be ill, because lots of people are ill at the moment, don't just take that at face value. Think about what else is going on in your life to cause you to have disease in your body, whether that's stress, anxiety, worry about things, all that type of thing. You know, so personally, I do have some anxiety, I do have some worries, I do have some stress. Some of it's not within my control and some of it is within my control. So, you know, it's really important that, you know, you just do as many of these, well, do all these things like I said, you know. So in order to deal with illness, basically, you know, remain as positive as possible. This is even about the coronavirus, you know, this is essential, right? Because all over the media at the moment is all about this virus, and it does instill a lot of fear into you, right? So you want to be as positive as possible and just think you don't want to get it, no, but if you did, right, you need to obviously be prepared as much as possible, but also think positively. You know, don't think anything fatal is going to happen to you. Just think this is another virus and I'm just going to deal with it as another virus. Maybe it's going to be a more severe one, but I'm going to just think it's another virus and it'll pass, which was, you know, that was number 2. So 1 is remain positive. 2, think this time shall pass. The worst thing you can do is think, oh, I'm going to be like this forever, or it's never going to stop, because the more you keep thinking like that, the worse it's going to get, right? I need, you know, sometimes in my mind, I'm like, no, I need to be better for that time because I got things to do, right? It's like on Monday, I've got a business meeting now on that needs video chat. I've booked it. It's very important because it's to do with a software tool I bought a long time ago that I can't use. And every time I try and speak to him, usually I end up being sick, ill, right? And I can't speak very much. So even if I'm ill and if my voice gets worse, I'm gonna, you know, have to still speak to him. So it's just the way it is, you know. So luckily, I mean, I've still got my voice at the moment quite a bit, but I can hear that I'm nasally. I can feel my throat sore. So yeah, but I'm still seeing a friend tomorrow. So I think until or if I get any worse, and I'm just going to carry on like normal as much as possible, you know. But as well as carrying on like normal, you've also got to recognize the fact you have got some illness going on, right? So you kind of have to deal with that and think what's going on and how am I going to address the situation, right? So that's where your journaling comes into it. That's why you got to remain positive, think everything happens for a reason. What is the reason for me being sick right now? What's going on in my life to cause me illness, to cause me disease in the mind, to cause me anxiety, stress, to cause me worry, to put extra strain on my body and my immune system, basically. And then you need to remove as many sources of stress, anxiety, worry, pain in your life, negativity as much as possible. This could be television programs, you know, like I said, get rid of all the death, murder, rape, all that type of thing that's going to cause you like emotional upset and pain. You know, if something's in your home that's causing you upset, get rid of it. If you know, there's certain friends that aren't really friends anymore and they cause you more upset than pain, get rid of it. And then you got to put all the positivity into it. And also obviously yourself, if you're telling yourself a lot of negative stuff, you know, you need to get that sorted out and talk to yourself in a calm way and start being loving, start saying loving stuff to yourself. So sometimes we can be very self-critical and we forget to say I love you. You're doing really good. You're doing a great job. So trying to turn your life a bit around like that and think, when was actually the last time I praised myself? When I actually say, yeah, you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing really, really great, great work there, When was the last time you actually said that to yourself? So I think it's very important that you think, when was the last time, and start saying it. So counteract as much negativity, stress, anxiety, and worry and pain with the opposite, with positive thinking. Start listening to positive affirmations, writing positive affirmations down, reading them out loud as much as possible. Obviously, you've got sore throat, that might be a bit difficult. So look in the mirror and do it as much as possible. And just try and do the opposite. So put all positivity as much as possible. Talk to friends when you can. Meet up with them if you're not too poorly. Obviously, if you're too sick and it's going to be contagious and you're going to pass stuff on to them, then you might want to think about video chatting, phone chatting, texting if you can't talk, that type of thing. So you're not completely isolated and cut off, because if you're isolated and cut off, it can be soul destroying, and then you can wallow in your pain more. And other times you might need to actually cut off from everything and everyone to just a period of time to take time out for you, because your energy might be lacking. Yeah. And then that's why it's really important to rest up, to basically literally reflect on your life, how it's going, which is what I've all talked about, and journal, write stuff down about what's happening in your life, where you're going. I mean, I did that last time I was ill. It's very effective. So I might start like just doing a summary of where I'm at now, what I've still got to do and stuff like that, because it can really, really help. I mean, write stuff in my diary every day of things I've got to do, what I've done, what I haven't done, all that type of thing. So I am constantly keeping on top of that. But there's like major things that can be going on. And, unless you take time out to actually write them all down and decipher them all and think which way is it going, then do you know what I mean? It can be very, very hard thing. So you really need to take time out to do that. And like I said, make sure you're eating really good foods and drinks. I'm a person that does need a lot of protein, so make sure you're having as much protein as possible. I mean, sometimes there is times I don't feel like eating so much, and those are the times that usually my energy starts going down. It starts depleting. Because I'm not keeping my energy levels up through food, and it's kind of like I'm missing some major meals out, or a major meal out a day and stuff like that, because it's like I don't really feel like eating. I just have cereal. But sometimes that isn't enough for the body when it's like lacking energy anyway. Less of it, because your energy is going out to repair itself, to fight the illness or sickness that you've got. So therefore, if you're not fueling up more, you're kind of like using more energy, and you haven't got a source of energy to top it up and keep yourself going as much as possible. Do you see what I mean? It's like you're not really putting coal in the engine of a train, or you're not really putting logs on the fire to keep it burning bright. So you've got to kind of keep fueling up, but on good things, healthy foods as much as possible. Like fresh fruit, vegetables. Like I said, if you can eat fruit. Vegetables, green leafy vegetables. Like I said, herbal teas are very good. Of course, they're obviously going to have some hot, warm water as well, which is going to be good to fight infections. Lemons in water is supposed to be really good as well. Obviously, some people recommend lemon and honey and stuff. I can't actually have honey because I'm allergic to sugar, and although it's natural sugar, it's too high sugar for me. If you want to lower blood pressure, eat bananas. They lower blood pressure usually, but if you've got low blood pressure, don't eat bananas, because it'll make you have more low blood pressure. So if you're a person who suffers low blood pressure, or your illness is currently making you have lower blood pressure than normal, don't start eating bananas. Bananas are good for sugar and potassium, but they're also a natural way to lower your blood pressure. So if you are eating bananas and you've got low blood pressure, you're just going to probably lower it even more. So that actually is not a good thing. I learned that a few months ago. So, no, not a few months ago. Last year, because I had suffered with low blood pressure, and I was having these banana bars, banana and pear, I think they were, or banana apple. I think it might have been banana apple. And anyway, part of it was banana, crushed banana, and my blood pressure just kept getting low all the time. I suffered low blood pressure anyway, but I kept having really dizzy episodes, and I didn't realise it had something to do with the bars I was taking as well at one point. So I just stopped eating those bars, because you don't want to do anything that's going to get against what you actually, is good for you. Do you know what I mean? And similarly, if you've got low blood pressure as well, to have some salt. So when I eat some ready salted crisps, they work much better to stop me feeling dizzy than, for example, jacket potatoes. So I have low blood. I'm allergic to sugar, and I have low blood sugar that I get and low blood pressure. So that's kind of like really difficult to deal with sometimes. So yeah, so like don't eat bananas because it makes the blood pressure lower, but to higher the blood pressure, have some salt. So that's what the doctor said sometimes when you're feeling dizzy, and I would have low blood pressure, which I get low blood pressure whenever I'm poorly usually. Then the actual crisps, the reason why crisps stop you feeling dizzy is because it's usually low blood pressure you're getting, and the salt in the crisps is raising your blood pressure back up again to like normal levels. So that's why jacket potato doesn't do anything for you, because it's not actually the carbs you need. The sugar at that point is actually the salt to high the blood pressure. But sometimes it's difficult to determine when you've got low blood sugar or low blood pressure, because the symptoms of feeling dizzy are pretty much very similar or the same. So it's kind of hard. So you've just got to watch that type of thing as well. So there are a lot of like foods and things that you can try out and stuff. Obviously Google's your best friend. So if you want to look up natural protection, like I can't have a lot of berries. Like blueberries are very high in antioxidants. They're meant to be very good for things like illnesses, like to take free radicals, like things that are in your body that are making you ill basically. But I can't have blueberries, so I'm allergic to them. They bring me out in rashes really badly and make me ill. So do you know what I mean? There's certain things that I can't take that would actually be good for me. So like err on the side of caution, because I've had some other things again that's supposed to be good, and I'm actually allergic to them because I'm allergic to a lot of foods. So just because they might be healthy for you, if you start getting rashes and stuff like that every time you eat it, you're allergic to it, and you're probably not, you probably can't have it because it's no good for you. It's like green tea. Green tea is supposed to be really, really good. I can't have green tea. I bought 80 tea bags once, and I tried one, maybe 2 cups. My tummy was in agony. I can't have green tea. So whilst everyone says, oh, it's so good, green tea, it's meant to be really, really good for the body, I can't have it. It makes my stomach really in excruciating, really bad pain. So yeah, just because something's good and recommended for one person doesn't necessarily mean to say it's going to be good for you. So always try something, and if it doesn't work, then change what you're doing and go and do something else. I take kelp for a thyroid problem. Kelp is also very, very good. Kelp is seaweed, by the way. Seaweed's also very, very good for giving you energy. It helps the thyroid function properly, and you can take it if you're feeling low on energy as well. So it's really, really good. I have to have that to live because of my thyroid problem. And I take digestive enzymes, because as we get older, our enzymes stop working properly. So if you've got a problem with digesting proteins, particularly certain proteins, and even your food in general, if you get a lot of acid reflux or regurgitation, then digestive enzymes are the way to go to counteract that problem. Especially if you don't want to take doctor's pills. I was on 8 tablets a day from the doctor for a digestive disorder years ago. So you don't want to be, and I was getting really bad pain every time I ate, and regurgitation still. It's just like ridiculous. And the doctor said, I can't do anything more for you. So I take Viridian. It's really, really cool. I might put some of the products, the Viridian Digestive Aid and the kelp, in the description for you, and also the teas I have as well, so that you can see them there. Pretty much a lot of this stuff is in my fibromyalgia self-help handbook, by the way. It's all about how to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier. This is how to manage fibromyalgia. So like I said, the book doesn't like cure fibromyalgia. Like fibromyalgia does lower the immune system anyway, so some of us do get ill sometimes more regularly than some other people might do. But that's not an excuse to say, oh, I just surrender to being ill all the time. Don't give in to that. There's a reason. And a lot of it's to do with external pain, but also it can be internal pain, because obviously if we have stressors outside, it's how we deal with them internally ultimately that also causes us problems. So it might be a stressful situation, but you could look at it in a different way. Also good for people without fibro too. Oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah, the Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook is really good for people without fibro too. The book, yes. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, the book. Sam's got the book, so that's how come Sam can say. The link is down below. It's got all about these teas in and enzymes and everything in there, and different foods to eat. So a lot of the stuff I eat is really, really good. which is why I'm still like talking with some energy, as you probably noticed at the moment, even though I'm not feeling as good as I could be. My throat's still a bit sore and I'm feeling a bit nasally. I'm still quite energetic, really, compared to some people. So yeah, so thank you, Sam. Yeah, the book is really, really good. Like, it's a whole like mindset, how to get rid of negativity in your life, de-stress, cut off from negativity, remain positive. So a lot of this stuff is in this book. It does work, you know. Obviously, it's not a cure for fibroids. It's not a cure to never get ill. It's to stop you getting as ill as possible, to manage it. I don't know what the book is good for changing your life. So whatever your specific circumstances is to change your life, you know, like no book is going to be good unless someone applies what's in the book. So obviously, if you're doing any negative stuff, you need to stop doing negative stuff. Stop being in a negative environment. Stop being around negative people. Stop giving yourself negative self-talk. Sometimes though, psychologically, we can like want to be ill a bit. I know that sounds really bad, and it's like, why would you want to be ill? Because sometimes our body needs a rest from the everyday life, and it'll be just kind of like, I just need a rest now. And subconsciously, your mind might be saying, well, really, I need to be able to take time out, to have an excuse to take time out to get better from my kind of what's going on in my head. Do you know what I mean? So subconsciously, you know, there's a lot of, you know, like I said, negativity going on. So, you know, definitely pay attention to everything I said in this video. And yeah, get the Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook if you're having problems with mindset, because this is a way of stopping depression, because I don't have depression anymore. Like, even if I get sick, right, I still remain positive, right, because of all the techniques I teach in this book. And it lowers your anxiety as well. So yeah, I don't have as much anxiety as I used to have. I used to be having generalized anxiety disorder level 4 years ago, so I'm not like that anymore. So I've done a lot of stuff in my life, so this helps you manage it incredibly. So even if you haven't got fibromyalgia, you just get the book. Cut ties from negative. Oh, nice to see you had that. Exactly, cut ties from negative as much as possible. You know, negative programs, negative, so stop watching TV, turn the TV off, just stop watching it. That's what I did years ago. I stopped watching it. Don't watch TV anymore. You just turn it off. You don't watch it. So if you've got any like severe psychological problems, like where you're harming yourself, which is something to do in the chat, then obviously you need to go to see a psychiatrist, a therapist, a counsellor. I'm not qualified in that. So, you know, if you've got any severe psychological problems, then you need to go see a psychiatrist, a counsellor, or you just stop yourself doing it. Simple as that, to be quite honest, because the only person that can stop you doing anything in your life is really you. But I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counsellor, so I'd always recommend getting some professional help. So you just stop doing it, don't you? If you're doing anything bad to yourself, you stop doing it. Simple as. You have the power, it's within you, no one else can stop you but you. So so you just stop doing it. It's as simple as, you know, only you have the power to change your life. It doesn't matter what goes on in your life, only you have the ultimate power to change your life, to stop watching TV, to have self-control, self-discipline, just stop doing stuff. You know, I've known exes that have just stopped smoking just like that. You know, when people are like, oh, I can't do it, stop it. You just stop yourself doing it. It's like, you're just like, no, I won't let myself do that anymore. You know, so there's certain things like I had to give TV up because I decided TV is really bad for me. So I just gave it up, you know, like you can do less and less of it and then give it up completely. So you can write down goals. So if you're watching, for example, TV, and you watch like, I don't know, 8 hours of TV a day, so then the first day you can give yourself the 8 hours, second day the 7 hours, third, you know, and carry on till you've got no hours left, basically, if you want to wean yourself off TV. But you can just like cut off from it and do other things so that you're busy doing other stuff. So, you know, and that's it. It is that simple. You just have to stop yourself. You have to change your own life. You know, I've had years of counselling, so you have to just stop yourself. find another hobby. Exactly, Heather. Find another hobby. You just stop doing stuff. You gain self-control, control yourself, stop doing something. Just stop doing it. Stop doing the thing you're doing. It's harming you. You know it's harming you. Why are you still doing it? Just stop doing it. Like Heather says, find another hobby. Just stop doing it. You have the power, don't you? Everyone has the power to change their life, just like that. You know, everyone, that the problem is, which I didn't realise, is everyone looks for everyone else to solve their problems, all the external people to solve their problems. Everyone looks externally, usually, to solve their own problems. That means all your power of your life is actually in other people's hands, not in your own. So therefore, you know, you just have to stop doing it yourself, right? No one can change your life for you but you. You know, and if, you know, like for example, if you live in the UK, you can get counselling for free. You can phone, there's free numbers, you can phone Samaritans up. That's a free phone number, you know. So if you want to talk to someone else, if you feel you can't cope and deal with things on your own, there's things like the Samaritans. Just go on Google and Google organisations, free phone numbers, mental health, you know. In America, I think there's befrienders.org as well. So yeah. Sean, you can phone Samaritans up. Right? You can phone Samaritans up free. So there's no reason for you not to do that if you want help. Like, I've given you as much help as you can. You need to help yourself now, you know? So, Sam, I've had years of counselling even now. The only person who's changed things is me. I've been advised on what to do, but I had to make that choice to change. Exactly. That is the that is the only way that you can change your life, is by you changing life yourself. No one else can do it for you, you know? That is the end of the day. I'm in the UK and I've had free counselling a number of times. Exactly. You know? If people don't want to help themselves, then that's it. There's nothing we can do. And now see a psychiatrist for free. So there you go. You know, so there you go. You just stop doing, you know, if you're causing yourself any pain, any distress, any depression, you have to just stop yourself from doing it. Like, you can have counselling. I've had counselling for years. But the only person that's actually changed my whole life is me, from learning from other people, by realizing I'm not perfect, by realizing I have to change myself, by realizing I have to develop and grow myself, and watching, like, going to business seminars and stuff like that. There's so much information on YouTube. Loads of people, videos on how to cope with different mental health issues from people who've experienced it. So you can, you know, go and look through all that type of stuff. You know, like I said, I'm not a professional qualified counselling therapist or anything like that, or psychiatrist. So you have to seek professional medical help and advice, because I can't give you that because I'm not qualified. So, but yeah, your power of life is in your hands. And that's what I said, you know, like, your ability to change your life is within you. You know, like, I looked for years externally, and, you know, it doesn't matter what people say in advice. At the end of the day, you know, people can say so much advice, but it doesn't, you know, unless you listen to people's advice and take it on board and act accordingly with it, then, you know, it's falling on deaf ears. So whatever you do, you know, take on board the advice you agree with, the advice you don't agree with, and live your life for you, you know? So, yeah, but, you know, the power of your life is in your hands. And so only you have the power to change it ultimately. But like I said, you know, I can only pinpoint people in the direction of where they need to go. And I was able to recommend talking therapies, which are still very useful, you know. I found them useful in my life, just that, you know, nothing really shifted big time until I made a shift in myself. And so yeah. Anyway, like I said, you know, if you missed the rest of this video, please go back and watch it. If you're feeling ill and you want to, you know, you want to be able to get better, or just cope even and deal with being ill, you know, remain positive. Think this time will pass. Everything happens for a reason. De-stress. Get away from negative people, negative things, all that type of thing. Put positivity in your life, and use time to rest, relax, reflect, journal, and eat good foods and good drinks for you. So yeah. And anyway, I'm going to go because I need to rest my voice. And thank you so much, Sam and Heather, for taking part tonight. I really, really, really appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you being here. And good luck, Sean, with your own personal well-being journey. I hope you get better soon. And until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you on next week's video or live stream. Take care. Bye. Bye, Heather. Bye, Sam.